So we're back again with Queen Pin and the wingman. Yeah, he's always looking around and try to figure out where this wingman is, but So, Rich, one of the things we always love to talk about is relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And we come at it from a really different perspective. But one of the crazy things is I think people don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to start at the beginning. You got to start at the beginning. And that beginning is first dates, whether it be a regular first date, an arranged first date, or a blind date, which, I already have like blind date anxiety. So yeah.
I'm not down with any type of blind date ever, just so we're clear.
You've never been on a blind date?
I wouldn't even consider it.
Really?
If you're going to do a blind date, say someone wants to fix you up with somebody,
right?
I'm just saying, then have them come with you. Like they should be a couple, and then I'll go as a couple as well. If they're single, then I'll be a third wheel. Let's all go out and first meet. I'm not just going to randomly meet somebody out of nowhere just because you vouch for them. I'm just saying, why would I do that? I'd rather just meet you in a social setting first.
So, okay, is this like because of like serial killer movies? Like, are you afraid that you're going to, meet the misery of people if you go on a blind date? Like somebody's going to try to keep you in their basement or something?
No, I'll just take it from my perspective. If I had a guy I wanted you to meet,
okay,
you're going to meet him with me. I'm going to introduce you to him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to be like, hey, even if you're in another state, I'd first maybe have you two talk or Zoom. First, see if there's a chemistry, because nothing's worse than maybe going to dinner with somebody. And I don't care who picks up the tab, but if it doesn't start working it's just brutal. Let's call it for what it is.
Right.
Let's all meet up and right. That's my opinion. And that would be a girl too. My buddies and advice, they want to meet girls or guys or whatever. I'm like, I don't care if I'm the third wheel. They can bring some or whatever it is. Like, hey, I want you to meet somebody. Because a lot of times I tell you first, it's not about dating. It's first about finding out who this person is before I even decide to go on a date with you. So blind dates for somebody randomly, I don't care if you vouch again for them. Oh, they're beautiful. They're handsome, whatever. That means nothing to me. How do you know, as soon as I sit down, say I'm looking for a certain type of person, or I want to maybe get married or in the future have kids, or I want all these things. And you sit down and in 5 minutes, this person's like, hey, I'm ready to move to Vegas, or I'm ready to move to Europe. I don't know what I'm doing. And all these things. You're like, what am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean?
Right. And I think that's the crazy part. Cause I think one of the things I get blind date anxiety is you feel trapped.
Yeah.
You feel trapped on this date. You don't know this person. And it's like, do I call somebody? Do I phone a friend? What's going on here? And that's really what it is.
And just because I have a friend, let's say, and we all have friends, that doesn't mean I'm still going to vouch for him to be with a woman, like set them up in that environment. Because also, say something does happen. I'm just saying, I don't want to be responsible. Say, yeah, I fixed that person up blindly.
Right.
And, it could go both ways, because I could be like, I have somebody, right? And then say my girlfriend has somebody too. So I got a buddy and she's got a girl, and we put these two together. Still, sometimes we don't even know our friends as well as we think we do.
Right.
In those environments.
Right.
We know it's a buddy at the gym, or a friend we've known for a few years at work. I have no idea. Is he going to drug her? Is he going to get her drunk? Is he drunk? All these things, I don't know, because a lot of times we don't know how people are behind closed doors. So I recently had a friend that's single, and she had a friend that's single, and we went out to dinner twice with them before they even went solo. So that's how I would work it.
Okay. And that's actually a good idea. That's an excellent idea. That's one of those, hey, do the blind date, do the double dating, because this way you get to know if there is any questionable ideas, because guess what? Now your friend gets to ask you questions when this other person's not around, and her friend gets to ask her questions when you guys are not around. So yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, if you're in a social, here's the thing, if you're in a social setting too, and you want to maybe fix two people up or whatever you want to do, or one of them, have them come and don't even let them know. See if that chemistry starts working. So if I'm out with even if I'm out with my girlfriend and some of my buddies are having cigars or a drink, and I know a girl that I think would be perfect for one of my friends, I'm like, come on over, meet us for cigars or have a drink with us. They come over and they'll just sit across from each other. If there's 4, 5, 6, let's also see how they work within the group together. And she may know, I'm not going to let him know, but maybe he knows and she don't know. But my point being is, or sometimes I let no one know. I'm just like, hey, let's meet you. Let's first see how you all kind of work it out. And then from there, I can even say, hey, would you think of her? Would you think of him? Or they may hit it off themselves. But if I see nothing going on, I'm like, there you go. And I've seen that many times meeting up with other people. I'm like, that guy's putting her feet to sleep, or that girl's getting smashed. She's blowing it. You know what I mean? She's drinking.
Yeah.
She smokes. He's in health and wellness. So you gotta,
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. You've got to figure it out. And then the other thing is, I will tell you in a minute, I am not, don't ever, 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 ever ask me to be like, oh my gosh, I like your friend. Good. But no, I am not the blind date fixer. I'm not the matchmaker. I'm not the, hey, I know. And you and I have both spoken about this. I know a lot of guys, you know a lot of girls. I am not fixing anyone up with anyone, because you will not be blaming me for, oh my gosh, this person's so horrible. No, and no.
Yeah. Very seldom does it work out in the long term, unless maybe they end up married and having kids. Let's face it, that usually doesn't happen. And who the hell knows down the line, you didn't know about this, or you don't, and then they kind of want you to turn on them. You set me up with a guy who does this. I didn't know he was bankruptcy, and he's got 2 kids and he don't pay child support. You're like, I didn't know any, how do I know this? You're dating him. He was just a friend of mine that I met, that I meet up with coffee and we do marketing.
Exactly. Like, I mean, this is, and the thing is, guys, this is not rom-com. This is not Hallmark. No one is sitting here saying, hey, oh my gosh, oh, you know what? There are going to be birds and chariots and pumpkins and mice making your wedding dress. This is not happening. There is no Disneyfication happening here.
Yeah.
So,
and a lot of times we think the person that, how do I say this? So I got a buddy, say I have a buddy, and I set him up and say, she may like the way I dress, or maybe like what I do, or my personality and all this. They're like, oh, they're probably like him. I'm just using me an example. Or, like it worked. I've been friends with her for so many years. It's going to really work out with my friend as well. And then you find out that person isn't me, or isn't like, have the same similarities by any means. So just because I hang with this person, same with women, you have friends. Just because you hang in the same groups doesn't mean that means you live the same lifestyle. So
we don't all live the same lifestyle. So yes, I tell people, I have people that will, okay, gentlemen, just so you know, we all have that one friend that is willing to knock on a door at 3 a.m. for no reason, just because her friend is crying. We also have that one friend that we know, no matter who you are, you could be the nicest guy in the world. You could literally show up on a white horse and say, my name is Prince, my last name is Charming, and she's still going to hate you because she's just that bougie.
There you go.
We all have them. We know. And sometimes this is why it's like, well, I want to go with you and your friends. Please don't, because we don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But one of the things is first dates. It in a real terms, because you and I spoke before and we talked about, the meeting up, getting coffee, just getting to know a person, not necessarily going on a date. But I think that impression, that first date, what do we do with that? Like, that has been such a, no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about that first impression that you make. And one of the other things is we have those people that go way too far, Hey, let's fly on my private jet to Dubai for a first date. So what are you doing? Buying her a 10-bedroom house for date 2?
Yeah. Yeah, they go over top. Yeah. I talk a lot about my book, Wingman, and my program, Mastering Self-Confidence. And a lot of it's the first date, because let's face it, if your first date sucks, most likely you're never going to get a second. Not only that, you're going to always remember that specific date. I'm just telling you, it's got to be right. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I think what men have to do is put a little more effort into it. Now, I'm not here to tell women can do whatever the hell they want to do, because I do think a lot of it falls on the man a lot of times when they're the ones, I'm saying, asking the woman to go on a date. Put some more time and effort into it. And I also say, don't get caught up in the interrogation type question. Have a whole different mindset when you're going on a first date. It is supposed to be fun. But for some reason, I think because maybe so many people are serial daters, they don't want to admit it. It could be, online dating. It could be Tinder. It could be whatever the hell it is. A lot of people go on a lot of dates and they're kind of fatigued from them. Some people are looking for free meals. Some people are looking to get laid, right? Just saying. Some people are looking to maybe score something to see if somebody could buy some things from them. There's all these different things people kind of are looking to do when going on this date. Some are looking to get married in the future. Some are looking to have kids. Some are not looking to do that. So, but regardless, at this point in time, if men put a little more time and effort into one, finding out what she likes, right? And say, for instance, if she likes Italian food, let's not take her to your favorite Italian restaurant that you've taken other women. So you may walk in and be a big shot, but then you brought other women there and they can kind of pick up on that really quickly.
Right. Right.
You're like, oh yeah, this is my spot. Oh, who's this? Another girl, or someone says something. We kind of want to both go, in my opinion, to somewhere where neither one of you have ever been. I don't care if it's 30 miles out or 60. You ask them, hey, you like Italian food? Wonderful. So do I. Let's go here. Have you ever been there? No. Either have I. It's a fresh start right off the bat. Maybe even go as far as say, hey, is there a specific kind of wine you like? I like this. All right. You call the restaurant. If they don't have it, you go buy it and you pay the cork fee. If you're going to show up with you go on a first date and you show up with a girl with the wine that they want, you already set it off. Like, I'm just saying something that simple. You don't have to show up with flowers. Flowers are bullshit. They're going to die, whatever. But you do little small things like that. Then when you go to dinner, and I don't want to get long-winded, but when you go to dinner, it's really about the woman, I believe. And a lot of guys are like, Rich, I don't want to start that shit because then they're always going to be spoiled. I'm like, get out of my face. Even ordering, like when you're sitting waiting for a drink, for instance, a lot of people don't know, you go have a drink. You don't want to take that drink to the table, even though people do. It's not really actually proper. Get there early. You have a nice drink together. You have a nice conversation before you even sit at the, you sit down and have a meal. But you're building up, that in sometimes you drink, sometimes you don't. But once you do sit at that meal and you're ready to order, say you want to get an appetizer, see what she likes. Right. And you don't have to order two. And if you do order two, if you see she likes two different things, be a gentleman and order. If you can't afford two appetizers, then you shouldn't be on this date. But I'm just saying, same with your meal. A lot of times, if I go on a first date with a girl, I'm looking at what I like. She's looking at what she likes. And I ask her, what do you like? She says this. I go, is there something else you like? I like this too. I'm going to order that if I like it, especially. And then she gets to taste that. Right. These are fun things that you're just gesturing because everything you're doing is kind of flowing. Hopefully it's not just like, oh, you like that appetizer. I don't like that. Forget that. I ain't getting that. I'm getting just this. Or same with the entree. You're getting that. And I'm a vegetarian. I'm not going to do that. Oh, you drink? I don't drink. Like making it.
And I think that's one of the crazy things. And I think that brings us back to the point of the get to know each other portion. Right. Because what happens, and I notice what's happening a lot now is, well, you get to the restaurant, you meet this person, and you're taking a vegan to a steakhouse.
Yeah. That's my whole point. You got to put that time and effort into it.
And
find what they like.
Yeah. And the other thing that you did say, and I know what it is, but I know there may be some people that don't know about the cork fee. So explain that.
Yeah, you can bring your own bottle of wine. Usually they'll charge $20 to $30 and they cork the wine for you. It's actually, if you buy expensive wine, a lot of people have their own wines. It's cheaper to go that route than go to the go there and pay $50, $80, $100. You're not doing it to be cheap. You're doing that to be unique. You're showing an interest in this woman besides just saying, hey, let's go out. And then we just go to a random restaurant. There's really not that much effort into it. But if you're truly asking a woman out, in my opinion, at that point in time, you are interested in her, right? That again, doesn't mean you have to take her for steak and lobster. That doesn't mean that. I'm not saying that. You first want to find out what you both like, or especially what she likes. And hopefully it's something like that you like as well. But it's just putting in the time throughout that entire night. Again, it could be even dessert. She likes gelato, and say you're at a Mexican restaurant. Now, hypothetically, there's no gelato. You're like, no, we're not going to do dessert here. I know a beautiful gelato place, down the road and blah, blah, blah. She's like, are you serious? Yeah, they got they got all these flavors. And I know, you may like this or that. So now again, there's all these things and you're just having a good time and it doesn't
Right.
take a lot of effort. But a lot of men, and I could say sometimes women that ask men out too, it's just kind of like, let's just get this over with. Let's see how this goes.
Right.
And forget about, I tell people too, let's forget about sex. But, you have these other dudes too that think, you got to have sex on the third date, or let's see if we're going to have sex. Is she going to kiss me? How far are we going to go? Is she going to come back to my place? Am I going back to hers? Forget all your bullshit. Enjoy the night and end the night separately. That's
Right.
it. Right.
Right.
Let's just end it. Once you get all the nonsense out of your head, even the first kiss, oh my God, should I make the move now? Should I not? Should I hold her hand? Do that? Just have incredible, unique discussions and make it interesting and fun.
I think that's the thing, is that we get so into the business aspect of it. And I don't know if you've ever seen that on TikTok. It's like, there's this little TikTok that's going around. So when do you want to have children? Okay,
Yeah.
are we moving to your home? Or are we moving to my home?
Yeah.
Do you think we should do this in 2? And they're making this relationship sound like a business merger. And it's like, you still have to live this. It should be fun.
Yeah.
It should be fun. And that's really the crazy part.
Yeah, and you got to have fun too with the environment you're in. Treat the server or the hostess with some respect, and then the server, the bartender, have fun with them. In my opinion, now if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. That I can't. But if you want to, in my opinion, you want her to be comfortable with you, and she should be having a good time too. Now, if she isn't, you're trying your best, then obviously that's a sign right there that you're going out of your way, and it doesn't seem like it's still. Maybe she's a Debbie Downer. I don't know what she is. But if you're trying to have a good time, and same with the woman, if she's trying to have a good time and he's getting huffy puffy or pissy or whatever, if you're going out with a guy and he's getting mad because of the valet parking, or he's mad because the reservations were waiting in line and all these things, this is a first date. If you're already having a lot of complications, these are a lot of signs you got to pay attention to. Is he too aggressive, or her? Is she, you know what I mean? Is she trying to get you to do something you may not want to do too? You both trying to get you to drink too much? Is she trying to get you to buy drugs that night? I don't know. But you have to protect yourself on a date, regardless who it is. I don't care if it's a blind date. I don't care if you've known them for 6 months. When you go on a date, things can change very quickly.
Right. And I mean, one of the craziest things that I'd ever seen was, I happened to be in a McDonald's one day, and there were a guy and a girl in front of me.
Yeah.
And actually, they were 2 people in front of me, because there was an older woman in front of me, and then there was the guy and the girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy and the girl, the person that was at the counter had finished, ordering what they were ordering. And the woman says, okay, can you move up, because I'm like hungry and I need to take my medicine, or whatever she said. Mm-hmm. And this guy like jumps in her face like, oh my gosh, shut up, old woman. Like, and the girl is like really eating this up. And she's like, oh my goodness. And I'm watching her, and he starts telling her, you're upsetting my lady. You're disrespecting my lady. And I'm like, and I finally had to step in, and I'm like, all she said was, step to the counter. And if this is how you're behaving, and I just looked at the young lady and I said, listen, at some point, he's going to behave like this with you. I don't know how long the 2 of you been together, but this is not behavior that you want, because he's getting this aggressive with someone that he doesn't know, that is old enough to be my grandmother. And you're accepting this.
Yeah.
Because at this point, what it's telling me is, if your mother or your grandmother says something that he doesn't like when he's in their presence, he's going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it does come down to respect, as you know. And I think too, when you're on a first date, there's a lot of things that are none of your business. I tell people, like maybe religion that's not the time to maybe talk about. It's maybe none of your business at that point in time. Politics, again, none of your business. In my opinion, these are things that should not be discussed. Now, if they bring them up casually, or, and here's the thing too. I think dating now has got to be very confusing on a first date, because I do think people have these conversations trying to figure out, did you get vaccinated? Did you not? You wear a mask? Did you not? You know what I mean? All these kind of different things that maybe we
Yeah,
never.
all the stances. And
Yeah, all
I
these
think
different
that's
types
what
of
makes it
things.
very complicated.
Yeah, exactly. And your political, views, and it could be what type of shows are you watching, or, all these things that, again, you can do whatever you want on a date. It's your right to do whatever you want. But I'm just trying to keep it fun and keep it interesting. I also wouldn't, and I'm a filmmaker, I wouldn't go on into a movie situation, because I think a movie is the most ridiculous thing to do on a first date.
Really?
Because yeah, I do, because you kind of eat dinner, maybe have dessert, and then you're sitting next to each other for the next 2.5 hours, really not even discussing anything. So in my opinion, again, and believe me, I like movies. I love movies. And there's going to be time, if you start dating, all you're going to end up doing with me is going to the movies all the time. But on the first date, I don't want to sit next to somebody for 2.5 hours, or half my date, where it starts off, we're having a really good chemistry and we're talking and things are going. Then I go to a movie, and now I could talk a little bit before the movie. Now it shuts down for 2.5 hours. I can't say a thing to them. Now
Mm,
I'm out of the movie. Now we're kind of talking about the movie, but we were kind of talking about other things that I think were much more important. So again, I like dinner, dessert somewhere else, and then maybe going somewhere else, maybe even meet friends, or maybe go to another place to hang out.
but
Maybe
something
even a comedy.
interactive.
Yeah,
Something
maybe a
interactive.
comedy club a little bit, because I mean, you're going to be quiet, but in between sets, you're going to laugh. It's fun. You'll have discussions in between each comedian coming out. So it's a fun experience that keeps just kind of rolling to me.
Cool. Cool. Wow, that's you know what? And I think the funny thing is I've always thought of, now that you're saying that, it makes sense. Because I've never before this had a problem with, on a first date, dinner and a movie. But
Yeah.
now it makes sense. It does make sense. I mean, like, you're getting, like you said, you've got that chemistry going, and then all of a sudden for the next 2 hours, you're like, let's watch the screen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. I get it.
And a lot of maybe I'm wrong. A lot of times you're kind of dressed up. A lot of times more, and like the movie is a dress down, right? That's a
Yeah, yeah,
casual,
like I'm not gonna,
not
yeah.
all theaters, but I'll tell you something about theaters. I write in my book too. If you want to meet women on chick flick nights, like if there's a Sex in the City movie out, Magic Mike or something, I tell guys, you want to meet women, those are the nights to go to the theater, or at least in the surrounding area, go have dinner and drinks, because it's girls' night a lot of times, and there'll be
Right,
massive amounts of women there. So you
right,
go
right,
there,
right.
and
Yeah.
so anyway,
Unlike the unlucky gentleman that went to do something like that during the act like a man, think like a woman,
what happened?
yeah, that was a how-to on what not to do, and a lot of guys got yelled at, like, I'm not the chirp chirp guy, I'm not the chirp chirp girl, like, so
I didn't
you
see
have to
it.
be. I would tell you guys, especially if this is what you're going to do, because you bring up a very valid point. If those are the types of movies that women go to see.
Mm-hmm.
So, but check the movie out for yourself
Yeah,
and
yeah,
find out if it is indeed something like, a rom-com or something like that, or if it's something that's going to make you seem like that guy. Because we always have those movies that are like, you know what, you don't tell me what to do. You don't want
mm-hmm.
that. You definitely don't want that. You
Yeah.
definitely don't want that. So yeah. But guys, check out what you can do on a first date. And let us know what you did on your first date, or if you're already in a relationship, or if you're thinking about it, and let us know. You can always email or message us on Anchor, or even leave your comments down below.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, that's a wrap right now for Queen Pin and the Wingman.